Gratitude and paying it forward. I think that the world is full of negativity, and social media is huge. It's like, oh, I want that, I want that, I want that, and comparing yourself. And they're just saying like comparison is the thief of joy. One of the big things is like trying to keep that positivity around. And it talks about that in the beginning here, where it says like just being around like the news. And it's like negativity is kind of like the norm. We start to think that there's more negative events rather than positive events. Like, man, there's a lot more good people than there are bad people out there. Being around negative things and negative things that happen during the day, it just makes us start saying negative things to ourselves too. And then when we start saying these negative things, we talked about it last week, is just like it brings us down too, right?
Like people literally start conversations by saying something negative. I was like, dude, isn't it a horrible day? It's like, it's crazy, you know. And sometimes we feel like when we're positive, like we just not fitting in, you know, because everybody else is being negative. So then you're just like not really fitting in with the norm. So it's kind of crazy.
When you're actually out there and like seeking discomfort, and like you notice that the world is way more positive than like social media and the news make it seem.
Oftentimes being negative is perceived as like having realism. And how that's, you know, fundamentally untrue. You know, you can be as real with yourself, real with the world as you can, right, and still have an optimistic outlook. The only wise thing to do is to just try to, you know, be optimistic, because what else? What's the alternative?
It's like, for example, take a normal day. For most of us, a normal day is very eventful, and most of the events during the day are neutral, which is so true. But like people will let one negative thing, that's like the only thing they remember from their day. And their mood will be based off of that. And they'll just be cranky and angry and frustrated the whole entire day, which is so crazy to me. I mean, and like there's times where like I almost fall into victim of that as well. But then like I'll just start saying things like that I'm grateful for, that I'm like actually breathing, that I can walk with 2 legs, you know, and like it could be worse. Also, when you're super neg, like you attract those things, like the power of attraction.
You get yourself in a cycle of doing these things, or in the cycle of failing by default. I really like it when it says that, like failing by default, because like when you're surrounded by these things and you say bad things to yourself, when you're around negative things and you attract those negative things, you start becoming in a cycle of just keep on doing those things and things.
So like life without gratitude leads to more like self-doubt, no room for growth, feeds like negative bias, no risk taking. And then life with gratitude, it improves our physical health. We get better sleep, strengthens our self-control and self-love, improves our mental health, provides happiness that lasts longer, more optimistic. It lowers anxiety and depression. And it even like helps with like having healthier like relationships. So I just thought like there's so much more positive by just saying things you're grateful for. Where it says like just taking 5 specific things that you're grateful for and reading it out loud each night before bed and each morning before beginning your day. I know this is something I'm going to start today. It's awesome that we get to experience this stuff when we're young.